Hey guys, welcome to Farm Charm Chic. I'm Emily. Today's video is all about crafting your stash. It is part of a collaboration playlist, which I will tell you more about later in the video. A few months back, I did a nautical video and I had so many wonderful supplies from Dollar Tree. They had so many beautiful nautical things this year. So I am just using up the rest of my nautical stash. If you like crafting, DIYs, hacks, dupes, thrift flips, or just creating in general, I would love if you would consider subscribing. And if you do like anything in today's video, remember to hit that thumbs up. But let's make some DIYs. Dollar Tree has these really cute little shadow boxes and there's a bunch of different designs. So I bought one trying to see if I could use it maybe as a blank template and kind of make it into my own. I just start by removing the back. Now this is nailed in and I show you here those little nails there. So be careful with those that you don't poke yourself or anything. I do end up taking those out and gluing the back on after I get everything to how I want it to be. I'm just taking a little paint scraper right now and it takes a little bit of time to scrape all of this little design off of the glass. Obviously, if the design on the glass was something that you wanted already, you could go ahead and keep it. It does take a little bit of time and just be careful that you don't break that glass. I'm just removing the little three-dimensional flower embellishment there, and I am going to take one of the napkins. This came from Dollar Tree, this napkin, a package of them. I'm just going to put some decoupage on the back. Now you will be able to see this blue through my napkin, but I thought where it was kind of oceany themed, I thought the little white dots looked like bubbles. I liked that. Otherwise, I would paint this to be a neutral color, maybe to like a white or something, or blue, dark blue, to match however I wanted it to show through on my napkin. I hope that makes sense. So I'm just using my nail file here to nail off the edge to kind of make that a clean edge before I go ahead and do my next step, which is take this darling little sand dollar that came from Dollar Tree and I just put it up there. I thought it looked really cute. So I'm just going to use some hot glue to put this, kind of cover where that flower design was so you don't see that. And then when I glue it down, I place the front back over and I decide I need to move it down. So while the glue's still hot, I can kind of manipulate that a little bit to how I want it to sit. Hippo was kind enough to send me this cute little cordless glue gun. It has this little magnetic base. You just charge the base and then your glue gun is ready to go when you turn it on. It uses the little mini glue sticks. It comes with several of those. And it also has that little precision tip, which I really like because I've never really had a glue gun that has a tip like that. And I'm really liking it so far. So if you are interested in that, I'll just leave a link to it down in my description box as well as a coupon code for it. After I have this glued all back together, I decide that I want to use one of the Nautical Dollar Tree stencils. I just want to put the word C down there in the corner. I thought that would look really cute. Now I do take my stencil brushes and I cut a flat tip on them because I like that when I am pouncing using my stencil. I feel like you have a little bit more success and I just go up and down in a little motion there, up and down, and you can see how well that turns out. There are a couple of spots that I do need to go in, and since it is glass, you can just use your fingernail just to kind of get in there and scratch it right off. I thought it was a little bare there and there was this cute little starfish on the stencil, so I went ahead and placed that after my first part had dried because you don't want to mess that up, and I went back in and put a cute little starfish on there. Now with stenciling, if you go back and there's any little areas, you just take a little detail brush and you can kind of go in and fix any areas if you need to. That would be completely optional. I think this turned out absolutely darling. I think it would be so cute if you had like a little beach themed bathroom or even did like a nautical tiered tray or something. I think it turned out really cute. What do you guys think of this one? As you heard me mention earlier in the video, this is part of a collaboration playlist. This is a group of friends that I get together with every month and we come up with different fun themes for a playlist for you. And this month our theme is Craft Your Stash. What exactly does that mean? It just means that we don't go out and buy supplies. We're supposed to do all of our crafting in this video with supplies that we already had on hand. My sweet friend Liana puts this together every month for us. She is our host, and our guest hosts this month are Crafting in Mimi's World and the Distressed Princess DIY. There will be a link to the playlist down in my description box as well as pinned at the top of my comments so you can easily find it. When you click on that link, it's just going to start playing through everybody's video for you and you can see the different items that they all came up with from crafting from their stash. Thank you so much, Liana, for putting this playlist together and all of your hard work. And thank you again to our guest host this month, Crafting in Mimi's World and the Distressed Princess DIY. Now let's get back to the DIYs. The nautical section at Dollar Tree this year had these darling little signs, and it is so cute the way it is, but I wanted to personalize it a little bit. So I thought I would just try and get the words off of that little galvanized metal piece there. I tried to scrape it with a paint scraper. I tried rubbing alcohol. I tried acetone. Nothing made those even budged the slightest. So I had this idea that I would just unscrew it off and I would turn it over and use the back part of this metal piece to put my saying on. The only problem with that is I realized that this was glued down very well. And as when I took it off, I'm like, oh, the sign, it still has the little sign on there printed on it. But anyway, the glue on the back of it, it was too hard to get off and I'd scratched it really bad. So I just decided to paint over it with kind of a corresponding blue color and just screw that back on. And that's how I got my blank surface here. So just beware if you want to change this up a little bit. You probably could save yourself a lot of hassle just painting over it and not even unscrewing it. There was a lot of cute cutouts in the Nautical line this year also, and I thought this lighthouse was really cute, and it took me a little while to kind of decide what to do with it, but I'm just taking some little Jenga blocks or the tumbling tower blocks, and I'm just going to glue those onto the base of this, and then it fits perfectly to glue onto the top of this sign. Now I used my Hippo water slide decal paper and I did just print on there. It says, "Let your light shine." I thought that would be super cute for the little lighthouse there. Now, if you want to know a little bit more about this water slide decal paper, I'll leave a link to a video where I explain a little bit more about it and how to use it. Basically, it's just like paper that goes through your printer that you print on. You spray it with some clear coat, let that dry, and then when you put it in water, it activates the kind of glue that's behind the clear portion here. And so when you slide it off the backing and place it onto your surface, it kind of acts almost like a decoupage type of consistency on the back of it, a little like goopy, if that makes sense, but not overly. But that's what helps it adhere to the surface. And then you just pat it down with a paper towel. So this is perfect if you don't want to get out your cutting machine or you don't have one. It's great for projects like this. I think this turns out so cute. It's fairly large in stature with that tall lighthouse on that base there. I think it turned out absolutely darling and perfect for a beach theme. Okay, if we want to talk about crafting your stash, these fish definitely take the cake. I have had these fish forever, wondering what the heck I'm going to do with them. And then it suddenly occurred to me to make them kind of like hanging fish, like a fisherman at the beach or something. But honestly, these fish have stared at me literally for so long. And it's just one of those things I picked up one day thinking, oh, I'll think of something to do with these. And nothing has ever come to me. But I was kind of excited when I came up with this cute idea. So I'm just painting them in corresponding colors. I do a blue color, kind of like a green color, and then a little like stonish color, if that makes sense, so they kind of match. And I want these to look really worn out, like they've kind of been around for a long time. Of course, you guys, if you've watched me for any length of time, you know that I love distressing things. It's just kind of my style. So make it your own. If it's not your style, totally fine, do whatever you want. But I take some antiquing wax after I have sanded these down, go over all the ridges, all the little places like that, just kind of give it a little dirty look. And then I take some white paint and I do the same thing and dry brush over that as well. So really quick with these to kind of go, you do have those little ridges. You just want to make sure you get your paint in between all of the little ridges. My kids love to play with these fish. They're absolutely darling, but for DIYing it, it was a little difficult to come up with something. So now I'm just taking some twine and I'm tying that around. And I kind of put it in like one of the ridges in the back so you can't really see it. It's kind of hidden there, kind of like it really is hooked in the fish's mouth, if that hopefully makes sense to you. And then I'm just going to tie a cute little loop at the top here. So just kind of like tying a knot, but then not pulling it all the way through, and just making sure that that's pulled tight. And then I just glue, so this does look like it comes out of the fish's mouth on the back side of this, just a little line of glue, and then I kind of push that jute twine down into it. So you can kind of see what I'm doing here. And this will just help it hang the way that I want it to and not go off to the side, and it will give that illusion that it is like an actual fish that's been caught. One thing I quickly do want to mention is that when I tied these together, I staggered the length of the twine so that way they were not all at the same length. And when I held them up, they kind of twisted different directions and everything. So I decided to kind of glue mine together so that way they weren't like literally flopping everywhere. So that's up to you, but they hang really cute. This would be so cute hanging off like a little peg or something, or even hanging off of a tiered tray. I think they turned out super cute, and they just look like they've been fish that have been caught. And I finally got to do something with my Dollar Tree little wooden fish. Are you guys on Instagram? If you are, I would love if you would come and find me. I am Farm Charm Chic over there. I'll leave a link down in my description box so you can easily find me. But come and see what I'm working on. I post there quite a bit. I like to show you things that I'm working on or when I have videos ready. It's just another place to stay in touch. So if you do come find me, remember to send me a DM and say hi, because I do love meeting new friends. Dollar Tree always has cute little planter buckets, and in their nautical section they had a couple different designs, I believe, and this one has like the little seahorse that's on it, and it's really cute. It's got this cute little rope at the top here, so I'm just going to kind of make this match my colors a little bit. It almost had like a little, like it's galvanized, but it had almost like a little bit of a white wax or something on it to kind of give it a little bit of texture, dimension, kind of scratched off rather easily. So I just heated up that rope. I took that off because I want to place it back on, and I'm just going over with a light blue color. Now I wish I had done maybe a little bit of a darker blue to match the different DIYs that I'm doing, only because I feel like once I go over this with a dry brush that's white, it didn't show up kind of with the contrast that I was hoping, but it's still kind of fun, and this is just to give you an idea that you can change things up to match your own decor. But with that little raised design there, when you dry brush over it with some white paint or whatever contrasting color, it really helps to pop. Now I put the rope back on, and I used some cute little jute twine that came from the nautical section that kind of was a blue and natural color together to kind of put in between there. I think this turned out really cute. It does fit like an IKEA sized plant very well if you have some of those. And it's just something to bring a little bit of that beachy feel into your home and have it be really simple that you can change it up to match your decor. This is just a cutting board from the kitchen section at Dollar Tree. I have a few of these in my stash, and I have yet to do a project with them, so I was kind of excited to get to use one. So you can kind of see that little indentation area in the center there to make that rectangle. I just placed down some Mod Podge, and I'm just taking a napkin. This is from their Nautical line at Dollar Tree this year, and I'm just going to gently place that down into the Mod Podge, trying as best as I can to not have there be any wrinkles or anything like that. When working with tissue paper or napkins or anything during the decoupage process, I like to use a little brush with some water in it. Every time I do this, I have someone tell me that there's a specific brush you can buy to have water in it to do this with. I find that just using a brush I already have and dipping it in water works totally fine as well. So use what you have. You don't need to go out and buy anything special to do this with. And then I am just going very close up to the edge there to make sure I can kind of get as clean of a line as I can. And then I'm just going to decoupage over the top of that to seal it all in. I flip it over and I do the exact same thing on the back. However, I learned a new tip or a trick here. I'm just using the back of a pencil, like an eraser, to kind of go through and get that edge there. So I'm just pushing it against the cutting board and pulling it away. I put a little water down first with my brush, as you can see there. That gets it a little bit wet, and then this gets really close up to the line. So there is a tip for you if you're trying to do some detail work like that. It worked much better than my fingernail did. And then of course I'm just going to seal this side in with some Mod Podge also. This cute little nautical ribbon came from Dollar Tree as well, and I'm just using a little bit of hot glue to wrap this around to kind of add a little bit of detail and break up that stark whiteness at the top of the cutting board. So now I have this cute little starfish wood cutout from Dollar Tree. It came in a pack, it's for like a hanging banner, I think, or something, and it came in a pack of 5 or 6 of them. So I just take one of those, I paint it blue, and then using the end of one of my paint brushes, I'm just dipping it into a light color there, and just, it has little indentations for circles already, so I'm just putting it where those little circles already are, and just kind of adding some detail to the starfish to kind of make it look a little cute and a little bit of embellishing. I don't show it, but I do go back in with a white color and do a little bit of a sheen on all of the cute little dots there, and that kind of helps, add a little bit more to it. But you can add as much or as little detail as you would want to something like this. It's just kind of fun sometimes to have a little bit of fun and make it a little bit cutesy. And to give it dimension, I always like to go, if I'm doing a 3-dimensional piece like this, I like to go around the edge with a contrasting color, kind of dry brush that edge. And then since this did have a little hole at the top of the starfish where you'd hang it, I just tucked that up underneath that rope, just used some hot glue to glue that on there. Now, of course, this is just for decorative purposes only, but I think it turns out so cute. It would be so cute to have sitting against a backsplash in a kitchen or on a cute shelf in your kitchen. I think it turned out absolutely darling. What do you guys think of it? I hope that you guys have enjoyed watching me craft with the leftover stash that I had from all of my nautical supplies that I bought this year. Dollar Tree still has a bunch of nautical stuff, at least the few that I've been to in the last couple of weeks. So hopefully you can get your hands on some of it and do some fun projects with it, because they really did a great job this year with all of their different beachy and nautical items. Be sure and let me know your favorite DIY down in the comments. I would love to know if you like what I did with my fish or not as well. Remember that I will leave a link to the playlist down in my description box. You can go see all of these other wonderful ladies and their videos and the beautiful crafting of their stashings that they have done. Craftings of stashings. I think that's a new term that I just made up. Anyway, you guys enjoy, and remember to be safe, be smart, be nice, be happy. Choose to have a good day because you are amazing. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed the video that you just saw, here's another one that you might enjoy. And as always, remember to like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and have an amazing day.